Hey guys, welcome back to another reading, and in today's reading we're going to be talking about what they would say to you. So we're going to see what they would tell you, if they could tell you anything, if they could speak to you now, what would they want to share with you, what would be on their mind that they would want you to know. We're going to get into all of it, and today we have a beautiful selection of ice creams for you guys to choose from. So of course, you know the drill. You can just use your intuition and see which of the ice creams is magnetically calling your attention to it, and then as soon as you've made up your mind, you can just scroll down to the timestamps in the comments and the description and jump right into your pile. I also want to mention to you guys that I do have my Patreon up with a ton of additional readings, so if you like how I pull tarot, that's where you can find even more content. I just posted one all about messages from your family members and ancestors, so that's a really deep one, but as soon as you sign up, you get access to all my readings, from more lighthearted, fun or romantic readings to some heavy spiritual topics. So we have some 18+ readings over there, tipsy readings. There's a lot of career readings, money readings, there's more love readings, and just so many topics to choose from. And when you sign up, you get access to over 55 additional readings, so you can watch all of them if you want to, but the link for that is underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description, and I would love to see you over there. So join me over on Patreon if you want to see even more of these readings. And then if you guys want to get a private reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. So if you guys want to get a pre-recorded reading, a live session with me, or if you want to get a love reading, career reading, year ahead reading, just an energy check-in, all of those are options. We get to talk about really whatever you want to talk about, and have me pull tarot for you, read your astrology, channel mediumship, or intuitively. You get to really choose how the session goes. So if you'd like to get, like I said, a session with me, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. Thank you guys so much for watching. Now, if you need more time to decide, you can totally feel free to rewind, pause, and take as much time as you need, but we're going to go ahead and jump into pile one. Hey pile one, welcome to your reading. So if you guys picked this pink popsicle, this is going to be your reading, and you guys might already know, but these are all really adjustable and all come apart. They are erasers, and I just love these. But anyways, guys, let's get into your reading. The first thing I'm picking up on intuitively is that it just feels like this person really misses you. I'm hearing I have so much to share with you. So I feel like with this person, it's almost like, I don't know if you guys felt like best friends or your conversation was just really on point, but I feel like right off the bat, I'm just getting this intuitive message that this person has so much to like tell you. Like, I feel like they almost want your opinion on things. Like, there are things that have happened in their life that they would like, maybe when it happened, they would think, oh my gosh, like pile one would think this is so funny, or I would love to get piles one's advice on this, because I feel like you guys are really smart, and it's almost like this person could rely on you or just open up to you, share things with you in a way that I feel like they didn't feel like they could share anything else with anyone else. Let's get into some tarot though. Let's get some tarot cards started, but that's just what I'm channeling right off the bat. What would they say to pile number one? King of Wands reversed, the Magician reversed, and the Six of Swords reversed. Wow, that's really interesting that we got so many reversals. So especially because the King of Wands and the Magician are very empowered energies. So I almost feel like this person is in a place of lack of power. They're feeling like they can't approach you the way they would want to. Maybe they are tied up somehow. They might be in another relationship, or they might have a lot of obligations on them, or they might just not have the confidence to approach you, because the King of Wands and the Magician are both very confident energies that get what they want, get it done. This person might also have a fear that they're coming off too like sexual to you, because the King of Wands can be a highly sexual sign that's very sexually magnetic and powerful and kind of aggressive, and sometimes they might be afraid that like maybe that would scare you off, or that you think that their only interest in you is sexual. Like, I don't know if that was a discussion you guys had, or maybe you would talk to them about like, oh, I've been played in the past or something, but it's almost like they want to prove to you like, no, I don't just see you in a sexual way. I don't just view you. It was more to me. I don't want you to think of me as just like, it's just a hit it and quit it, like, oh, this is fun, this person's hot, and I just want a good time kind of situation. They really want you to know that I feel like it's deeper for them. And they might even be afraid for some of them that you see them in this way. They might be afraid that you just thought of them as like a hookup. Like maybe even you made it, like, for not everyone, and this can, like I said, it can manifest different ways. The cards have multiple meanings, but I am getting for some of them, like they actually felt like you were the one that were trying to keep your emotions out of it, or you were the one that was trying to like be like, well, no, we're just hooking up, it's not that deep. And so it's something that really bothers them, or it's something that I feel like they kind of want to prove to you. You know, I do feel like the main thing I'm getting is this person has so much respect for your intellect, pile one. They think of you as someone who's so smart and someone who's very capable. I feel like a lot of you in this pile, you're a great conversationalist. You might know a lot about a lot of random topics and just be very curious about the world. Someone that I feel like people would be thrilled to be like stuck next to you at a party, you know, like at a dinner party where you have to sit next to the same person all night. They would be super lucky if they got next to you, because you are that person that probably knows a lot about like random topics and can just talk all day about like the War of 1812, and someone's like, how do you know this? But I feel like they have so much respect for your intellect and your mind and the way you talk and the way you think of things. And it's almost like I feel like they want you to think of them in the same way. They might even have insecurities about like, I don't think I'm as smart as pile one, or I don't want pile one to think I'm not that smart, or I don't want pile one to think I'm like beneath them because I'm like not quite on their level intellectually in some kind of way. I feel like that is an insecurity that they may have harbored towards you, is wondering if they can measure up and wondering if they're kind of like almost like holding you down or something, or you would like downplay your intelligence to talk to them or something like that. It's almost like they want to prove that the connection you guys have is more than just sex and make that clear to you. Like, this is not just about how attractive I find you, even though I am so attracted to you, but actually it's about something a lot deeper than that. And I feel like there's some desire to prove that to you, but they definitely might be feeling very unempowered and might be feeling very stuck in some kind of a way. I mean, we literally also have the Six of Swords reversed. Six of Swords talks about leaving situations. So they may feel like they can't leave whatever situation they're in for whatever reason, and that they can't fix this. They may have a real desire to reach out to you, to send you that text, to call you, but there may be a part of them that's like, you know, I just can't do this. Like, I can't for whatever reason. Maybe it's other circumstances. Maybe it's another relationship. Who knows? But there's a sense that I'm stuck and I can't get out of this. And I feel like in a way this person might have a lot of regret too about decisions they made, how they handled things, choices that they made about different situations. Like, it's almost like if I could go back and do it differently, I would, is what I'm kind of hearing in my mind. Like, if I had known the things that I know now, I think this person, you know, there may have been a situation where they didn't figure out how impactful this relationship was until later. They may have thought that they could run from these feelings. They may have thought that, you know, whatever was with you, like they could easily repeat with someone else. They might have felt like, yeah, like I know I'm attracted to them and I know we have this spark between us, but like, you know, this is too hard and I'm just going to move on and whatever. And I feel like now they're kind of realizing that, you know, this is just something that's not going away. It's not disappearing anytime soon, and that it really was very lightning in a bottle, rare, once in a lifetime type energy. So I think that, you know, now they kind of have had that realization, but to them, maybe they feel too much time has passed, or if they sent you a DM and confessed their feelings, you'd be like, excuse me, what? Like, move on, come on. But yeah, I feel like they do think about you a lot, and I feel like there's, again, so much they wish they could just tell you, like things that have happened in their life that they're like, oh, pile one would have the best reaction to this, or pile one would think this is so funny, or pile one would, you know, just like have the best advice for me. So it's definitely, I think, sad for them when they think about you. I think they get very wistful. I'm seeing someone stare at a photograph and just stare at it and just kind of like wistfully think about the past and think about what could have been. So I feel like they get into a very morose energy when it comes to you, and kind of, in a way, I wish we could flip this King of Wands and make them less sad and morose and more like, just take action, dude. Like, just send that text. But that's kind of how they're feeling. Let's get more tarot. What do they wish they could say to pile number 1? Wow, look how many reversals. This is crazy. And yes, my deck is completely upright. So this is very, very intense. Like, their energy is very blocked. Their energy is very blocked. And I think with the Temperance card reversed, they just thought they would have more time. I feel like in a way they don't know what to do. I'm hearing I don't know what to do from their higher self. So it's just kind of like feeling stuck, feeling confused, not sure how to proceed, knowing that I feel like I just heard, I know my current situation isn't going to work out, or I know I'm in a bad situation currently. So it's almost like I feel like they know that their feelings for you are so strong, and that even there may be an inevitability about you guys coming back together in the future, or them sooner or later really being overwhelmed by these feelings. They kind of know like it's not going to magically get better for them, and that they're kind of stuck in this emotion that they have towards you. Like, it's not going to lift anytime soon, to say the least. But I feel like they just don't know what to do about it. And the idea of taking action or doing something concrete with the 7 of Pentacles reversed, it's like, no way. Like, I don't even know what I would do. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to fix this. I feel like they think of you as much more competent and much stronger than they are. They wouldn't have necessarily wanted to tell you that. And even maybe some of you guys, when you dated, that might have been something that even caused conflict in the relationship. Like, maybe you would always tell them, you know, you need to do this, or you might have been like the stronger one or the smarter one, and they might have at times resented you or been like, I want to get into a relationship where I'm the strong one, I'm the one that people look up to, not where pile 1 is like, you know, I want to say condescending to me, but I know you guys weren't being condescending on purpose, but it's almost like their ego may have taken a hit because they think of you as so smart and so competent, so amazing, that they're kind of like annoyed by that at times. Maybe they wanted to be like the powerful one in the relationship and you were always so powerful. But either way, I feel like now, you know, it's almost like pile 1 would be the one to know how to fix this. Pile 1 would know how to deal with this. Pile 1 would know the right thing to say, you know, and yet you're the one person that they can't ask about it because the question's about you. So I feel like they're almost like, I wish pile 1 would fix this. And they might have waited for a really long time for you to text them or get in touch with them and thought that you would. And I feel like there's some sense of you guys moving on and like kind of washing your hands of the situation and possibly thriving really well in your life. But I feel like this person definitely thinks of you, especially late at night when they can't sleep. Thoughts of you just constantly come up for them. Let's get into some of the song cards, my favorites. Okay, let's see what song cards we're gonna get. All of Me Wants All of You, Sufjan Stevens. Very intense romantic song and feelings here. Okay. Wildest Dreams. And what did I say? They think of you at night. I feel like especially at night, it's almost like they can keep themselves occupied and busy during the day. Maybe they have a job or they're just, you know, doing hobbies or something. I don't know. But I'm seeing so vividly someone like laying in bed at night, staring up into the ceiling and just really being unable to like take their mind off it, you know. It feels like that's when the emotions just come all over them and they just can't get away from it. Like the emotions just start just rolling over them, you know what I mean? And yeah, I feel that they've tried to fight this. They've tried to fight and push away, you know, their emotions towards you, but they can't. And they might even feel some shame about that. They might even think it's pathetic, or that there's something wrong with them, or that they're delusional or something like that. So I feel like it's something that they don't really feel comfortable sharing with others, talking about it with like anyone, like a friend or a therapist, or let alone if they have if they have a partner or anyone like that, they are not going to share their feelings with. I feel like they keep it very close to their chest. They kind of like hide it, you know. They wouldn't want anyone to know because I think they think that everyone would think it was pathetic and weird and like, just, dude, get over it, like grow up, you know. So they're just kind of like downplaying it to everyone, or not even letting anyone know about this. Let's get some more cards for pile number 1. Band of Gold, Frida Payne. That's a really interesting song, because I believe that song is about a woman who rejects her man on the wedding night, and then he leaves her, and then she's begging for him back. I think that's what the song is about. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what the lyrics are about. And that was kind of like what I was sensing, and it makes sense for this vibe, is because I feel like there's almost this feeling that you rejected them, or their pride being injured. I mentioned that earlier. Somehow in this relationship, them feeling rejected by you. Again, King of Wands reverse. They might have felt like you were also, for some of you guys, this may have been something where you didn't want to sleep with them, or you were reluctant to be sexual with them. Maybe they got offended or something like that. Only for some people, but there may have been this sense that, like, again, I feel like this person, if they were to come back now, they would want to prove that they're not just seeing you in a sexual light. So it's kind of a weird parallel with that song, where maybe they thought that you were kind of putting them off in some sexual way, and they got offended, or their ego got hurt, or they may have felt like, you know, I probably look like a creep and a weirdo, but they might have gotten mad. There was some kind of ego wound. I feel like that happened with this person. Some kind of feeling of, you know, you rejecting them, or you turning them down, or telling them no, or putting up a boundary. And I feel like this person's, like, their ego got very offended, but it's almost like their feelings were hurt, but they didn't have the words to put it into words. They didn't want to actually say it. They didn't want to think about it rationally. So they just got really mad and just like stormed out or something like that. And I feel like you didn't realize that, you know, maybe they were so upset because honestly, they do have you on a little bit of a pedestal in their mind. Like, I feel like they take your opinion a lot more seriously than they would take most people's opinions. They might not have cared if anyone else had rejected them, but I feel like because they think of you as very smart and kind of perfect, it's like that just hit them, I feel like, very emotionally. It hit them in a very deep place, you know? It was something that I feel like they really struggled with, like, oh my God, like they really straight up rejected me. They don't like me. And you might have been like, no, it wasn't anything like that. I just didn't want to like go home with you that night, or I just wasn't ready for this, or I don't even know. But you weren't trying to reject them, but they took it as rejection. And I feel like there is that part of them that still feels like you would reject them to this day, or you would turn them down, or that even that they're not good enough for you, really deep down, they might be feeling like they just can't bring anything of value to your life, that you're just way better than them. And I feel like that's what their friends might have said as well. I'm getting some of them had a friend who like told them something like that, or might have said like, bro, you're out of his, she's out of your league, or something like that, or they're out of your league. Because I'm thinking of a TikTok I saw where this couple was in a grocery store, and this random man came up to them and was like, are you with her? Because she's way more attractive than you. And and I told you guys that happened to me once on a date. Some random man came up and sat down at our table and started saying that, and I was like, oh my God. But I think it was an angel, I really do, because I didn't like the guy I was with anyway, so it was like perfect that happened. But anyway, that's what Spirit is bringing to my mind, is like this vibe that someone might have approached this person and said to them something like, you know, you like, dude, she's hot, or like, I can't believe you landed her, or I can't believe you're with him, he's so gorgeous. You know what I mean? And it might have created this doubt in their mind, or this feeling of lack of self-worth, where maybe their friend was like trying to compliment them, trying to be nice, but deep down they kind of felt the same. They were like, yeah, I don't think I deserve them, and now my fears and insecurity are running amok, and now I literally am terrified. So thanks for that. Thanks for telling me that they can do way better, because that's exactly what I was thinking, but I was hoping I was being just insecure, but apparently that's the truth. So yeah, I think it's something that, they might have even felt a little vengeful to you at the time when you guys did separate with the Sunday morning song, because that is kind of about being completely desperate and in love with someone, and then the tides turning and the table switching, and you being on the other side of it and being like, wait, now you're the one who's sad. So I feel like in a way, maybe this person, it was almost like they wanted to reject you. Again, they might have sensed that you rejected them at first, and then they were like, oh, well, you know what? Okay, cool. I'm going to reject you, see how you like it. And maybe they thought you were going to come running, but you didn't. But it's almost like this person's like, I really miscalculated. And I feel like, again, honestly, I feel like what they would say to you is how much they enjoyed being with you. They also got a kick out of you. Like I'm suddenly feeling almost like I could laugh or just start cracking up. I feel like some of you guys in pile 1, you guys say quite funny things, and sometimes you can just be hilarious to talk to. Like you're like just the life of the party, or just someone who it's just easy to be around. And I honestly think that now this person is in a place of really missing your presence in their life, really missing like the funny little asides you would make, or maybe, like I said, you might know a lot of random information, and you might be that kind of person that when you're driving down the road with someone in the car, you'd like point out like, oh, by the way, did you know that custard shop that's actually the first custard shop in the state of Wisconsin? Yeah. And when it opened in 1932, it was the first. It only sold vanilla, and then the son had invented a way to mash up strawberries, so they added that to the mix. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like you might be one of those people that just knows stuff and just has interesting things to say, and I feel like that's something they kind of like laugh about or think back on so fondly of like, oh my God, remember all those little comments they would make, or like a current event might happen and they might think, gee, I would love to get pile 1's reaction to this. Pile 1 always had the most interesting stuff to say, and they were so smart and they were intuitive, and I would love to know how they would interpret this. Let me get some more cards, or one more song maybe. Everlong. Wow. That's a really emotional song. This person might also have a cool taste in music, because I feel like, yeah, we got 5 Years Time, Noah and the Whale. So there's a lot of kind of like rock music, which, yeah, they might have a cool taste in music or alternative taste or something like that. But yeah, definitely. Look, Temperance coming out next to 5 Years Time. They definitely thought they were going to have more time with you, and that you guys were going to like get back together or meet up again or get to talking. And I don't think they really imagined or fully understood the consequences of you guys not being together, being in separation. Whatever they were doing at the time, I think they were hoping that like, okay, yeah, I'm upset because we just broke up, but like, just give it a few months and I'll be fine and everything's going to be back to normal. And now they still think about you and it's not back to normal, and I think it's finally dawning on them that it will probably never be back to normal, and that their feelings for you are a little bit deeper than that, more spiritual. And Everlong reminds me of that as well. I'm thinking of that lyric, breathe out so I can breathe you in, Everlong. And I just feel like there's this craving they have for you deep in their soul, that like they just kind of want to be like laying in bed next to you and breathing the same air as you. I know that sounds a little creepy, but you know what I mean? Like, just maybe they even really like the smell of you, like just the smell of your skin and the smell of your hair and the smell of your, just whatever body wash you wear, or just your natural scent as a human, they might just really love that. But I feel like it's like a spiritual thing to them now. They're kind of finally realizing that what you guys had was more of a soul connection than just they might have even, and again, with that King of Wands reverse, if they did approach you in a very sexual way, or if they did seem to want to have things just be very sexual, you might have been like, okay, like, no, I'm not doing this. Or you might have been the one who kept trying to make things sexual. But I almost feel like there's this feeling of like someone was trying to keep this relationship to be sexual as a way of hiding from their feelings and pretending and lying to themselves, or even both parties, that like this is just a hookup, this is just a one night stand, or this is just a this is just someone flirting with me, or this is just someone who has a crush on me because they like my body or something like that. You know what I mean? Almost like, let's just limit it to this. And I do feel like now they're kind of admitting like, no, it was way deeper than that. And this is a soul to soul thing. This is about souls on the astral plane. This isn't about, oh, wow, like your pecs look really great in that shirt, or your butt looks really good in those jeans. This is about something that goes across centuries and lifetimes and is, very unique and rare and doesn't come along very often. So I think that, I think this person, you would have a lot to say to each other. I feel like it's almost like they would want to tell you everything. You know how sometimes you get like separated from your best friend, or if you have siblings, I have siblings. It's almost like if you've ever gone to siblings to like with siblings to a family reunion, and maybe one of you is like over there talking to the aunt and the other person's across like having to talk to the cousins, and then you meet up in the car on the way back or something, and you're like, okay, so she told me blah 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 blah, and you're just like spilling all the tea to each other and you can't wait to like get it out. Or with a friend, you're at other sides of the party talking to different people, like your best friend, and as soon as you meet up you want to share all the gossip and you just want to tell them everything that went on. It's almost like that feeling of like, I just want them to know, like it's just this deep closeness, and I can't believe that pile one doesn't know all the things that have happened for me in my life. I can't believe pile one is in the dark about like the job promotion I got, or the like dog I adopted, or the book I just read that was so good, or this crazy documentary. They would love it. It's like they just want to tell you things almost like a friend, because I feel like the soul connection you guys have is so deep that they really want you to know everything they have in their life. So yeah, I think that is what I have for you. This came through channeled so strong. I didn't even really need to pull as many cards, but I can feel how much they care about you, how much they really adore you, and also how much they respect you. So yeah, I really hope it resonated, pile one. If it did, let me know in the comments. I always love hearing from you guys, hearing your thoughts, your reactions, your stories. So definitely let me know, especially with the romantic readings, reading all the drama. It's always interesting. Also, if you guys want to subscribe to see more of my readings, I would love to have you here. So make sure to subscribe, hit the bell, turn on those notifications so you can find out as soon as I post next. And if you want to see more of my content, head on over to my Patreon, where I post all my additional readings. I just posted one all about messages from your family members and ancestors. But as soon as you sign up, you get access to over 55 additional readings about love, career, spirituality, money, relocation, friends, family members, future life, past lives, so many different topics to choose from. So if you guys want to check that out, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments in the description and join me over on Patreon. And if you guys would like to see or get a private reading with me, you can get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and you can sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me. You can have me pull tarot for you, read your astrology, channel mediumship or intuitively, and you can ask me about love, career, the year ahead. You can do an energy check-in reading, which is my favorite reading to do. Just for myself, getting readings from others, and I like doing them for other people as well. But whatever you guys want to ask about, it's totally cool, of course within reason. But yeah, so if you want to get a reading with me, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and I'd love to do a reading for you. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I'll see you guys very soon again in the next reading. Take care, guys, and I'll see you then. Bye. Hey pile 2, so if you guys picked this soft serve cone, this is going to be your reading. So they did a lot of detailing on this little cone, and it says sweet corn for some reason, but anyway, it comes out, it's an eraser. I love these, but let's get into your reading and into your cards. So the first thing that I'm picking up on, just channeling as I tune into the energy, is I almost feel like this person might be a little mad at you, or there's this sense of anger that existed between you guys at one point, possibly on their end. It feels like maybe there was a lot left unsaid or too much said, but I almost feel like this person was in their feelings about this for a while. Like they had some, maybe they even blamed you or were upset with you in some way. Let's get into the cards and see what the cards have to say. But I'm feeling like they had a lot of unsettled emotions towards this. With the Queen of Swords, they might have felt like you were unemotional. They might have felt like you were very harsh on it. You might have even said harsh things. The Queen of Swords can be really great with her words. She can be, she can definitely know some right insults to say to someone that will get under their skin. And she can definitely be very intelligent, but there's a coldness to Swords energy, and there's kind of a harshness. That's why it's like swords. You kill someone with a sword, right? So they might have felt like you said something mean or cruel to them, or they may have felt like you were just very unemotional as well. You were emotionally withdrawn, and that they didn't feel like you reciprocated the feelings, or they didn't feel like you felt the same way. They felt like you always kept your cool, or you were very like unemotional and withdrawn from them. And that might have been something that really bothered them, because I'm almost feeling someone say something like, I made myself a clown for you, or I was a fool for you, which is a song, but they might have felt like I acted like a fool. I acted like an idiot. And look at you. You stayed all perfect looking, and you kept your decorum, and oh, you're so like smart and perfect. You know what I mean? Like that kind of resentment of like, how could I look so stupid? How could I be so stupid? They might even feel like their feelings towards you were delusional, like you didn't reciprocate any of it, and that the fact that they thought that you could have been in love with them is like a joke. Like there's no way. How could I have ever been such an idiot to believe that someone like pile 2 would fall in love with me and have these feelings for me? Let me get into some more cards. Oh my God. Okay, that's crazy. And I love shuffling, because it's so funny that I was channeling, I was a fool. I made myself a fool, and I kept repeating the word fool. And even in my mind, I was thinking, this is like the Fool card. I wonder if I'll get the Fool card. And then boom, and it's reversed. Sorry, just tarot sometimes freaks me out when it comes through like that. So perfect to what I was already seeing. But yeah, the Fool card, like definitely, it's almost like I'm not going to be a fool anymore, because it is reversed. It's like, you're not going to make a fool out of me. Maybe they feel like that's what you were trying to do. And I often think, thinking like this can kind of be an emotional cope. It's like maybe no one was trying to make a fool out of you, but you made a fool out of yourself. You know what I mean? It's kind of like your math teacher probably isn't trying to screw you over, and they didn't like come up with questions just to like make you look like an idiot. It's probably you just don't know the math that well. You know what I mean? And by the same token, I don't feel like you guys were actively trying to like, I'm gonna humiliate pile 2. I'm sure you weren't, but they might have felt humiliated, and they don't have emotional processing abilities to work through it and to be like, you know what, this was totally my fault and I really screwed up. So instead they're just going to put the blame on you and act like it was your fault, and you did them dirty or something like that. Yeah, because I almost feel like you guys really kept your dignity in some way. Like you didn't, like maybe they were even trying to bait you into some kind of conflict, or make you lose your cool, make you lose your temper, make you start crying about them, and instead you just kept your dignity. Maybe you never did some embarrassing thing on social media where you were posting like sad Instagram stories about like when someone betrays you, blah blah. Like you might not have ever done something like that, and it's almost like they were wanting to see that. They were wanting to know that you cared about them on the same level that they cared about you. And I feel like they never got that closure. Now, of course, they could approach you in a mature way and actually ask you like, how do you feel? And let's talk this out. But I don't think that's really something they felt comfortable doing. Like, I feel like they almost, it's almost like they resent you because they truly don't think that you reciprocate the same feelings. I feel like they think that you were like playing a game with them, or that you were faking it, or that you didn't really mean it. And almost like you made me act so out of character. So I don't know if they did something that they would consider out of character. Like maybe they're the type who would say, oh, I don't usually like take girls on dates, and then they took you on a really nice date. Or maybe they're really usually shy and you don't realize how much they had to work up the energy to even just ask you out, or even to flirt with you or ask for your number. But it's almost like I'm hearing simp. I just heard simp in my mind. So maybe they felt like they acted like a simp for you or something. But I feel like now they are looking back and being like, oh, that was so cringe. I was so embarrassed. I am so embarrassed. They may replay things they said to you and like cringe internally. You know how sometimes you'll have an embarrassing interaction, like you say something kind of weird, or you lose an argument or something, and you replay it in your mind like, ugh, like why didn't I say this, or why did I say that? And I feel like they kind of do that. Like they think about things they did to you and they're kind of like, I wish I could have said it like this instead. It would have been so cool if I just like walked away and said that. Or so yeah, let's get into some more cards for pile number 2. Queen of Pentacles, and I don't know if that's, it kind of came out on the side, so I don't know, but you know, I'm getting the same meaning about it anyway, whether it was reversed or upright, which is like the same vibe. Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, they're not totally dissimilar energies. Like I would say the Queen of Swords, Queen of Cups are very dissimilar, and to a certain extent the Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords are very dissimilar, although they have some more similarities. Of course, all the signs can have similarities or things where they overlap, like Wands and Cups are both emotional, blah, blah, blah. Swords and Wands are both willing to fight. But with the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords, again, I feel like it's that energy of someone who's maybe a little emotionally withdrawn. Both of them are goal-oriented, down to earth. They're not going to be like super chaotic like fire and water. They're not going to start, you know, pouring out their heart and being like, oh my God, I felt this and I was just so upset. And they're not going to do that. They're also not going to be kind of stereotypically super like romantic or even feminine in a way. Like they're going to be more stoic and they're going to be more controlled interior. Like they're not going to pour out their heart and be so vulnerable and just be like a little chaotic about it. They're going to like be very much in control of the situations. And again, I feel like this person, like in a way they look up to that with you, but they also resent that. They wanted to be able to see more of your heart and to know how you felt. And I feel like you kept a lot of that kind of to yourself. Like you kept a lot of mystery with them. And I feel like on one hand, they really liked that about you and they kind of were intrigued by it, but on the other hand they also resent that because they wanted to know more. They really don't know, I think even to this day, exactly where they stand with you and exactly how you felt about them. I feel like, you know, deep down there's always this sense of uncertainty or wondering like how did pile 2 really feel about me? What did pile 2 mean it? They might even think that even if you did tell them something or you were open to them emotionally, that you were like faking it for some reason. I also feel like they might feel like you are ambitious and kind of heartless in that way, because I'm hearing heartless by the weekend and kind of like, you know, okay, so they're on to the next, right? They have bigger fish to fry. They probably, you know, they're doing their thing at work and they are having all these big goals and they don't even care about me. They have no heart for me, you know? So in a way, I feel like it is very copy and this person's coping a lot, but this is maybe their way of, you know, making themselves feel better that things didn't work out by saying you're just heartless in general. You weren't open to them. You never will be. You are just working on some kind of a goal or something like that. Yeah, I feel like in a way this person might also have had their insecurities come out because they might not have felt like they could measure up to you. And it may be something that upsets them deep down, is like they might act like, oh, pile 1 or pile 2 is the unreasonable one. Pile 2 had really high expectations and they were just too full of themselves and whatever, but deep down it's like they know that they were the one who should have measured up and should have done more. And I feel like they do beat themselves up about this. So let's get into some more cards. They might also call you bougie with that Queen of Pentacles. They might say you're too bougie, or you expect too much, or you expect to be treated like a princess, or you spend way too much money on clothes or something like that. Oh my goodness. So the card that fell is the Judgment card, which makes perfect sense, because I feel this person genuinely just had a fear of judgment from you. They just had this fear that, you were going to be judging them. Oh my God. This is so perfect. I can't even believe it. It's the King of Cups. So literally the perfect cards. I love doing these live pulls so you guys can see like that it's real, that I don't, when it's like this perfect of a card reading, it's like, I'm glad I did a live shuffle so you guys can see that I wasn't like, let me tell a narrative and pick certain cards. It's just crazy because, again, I feel like this person's comparing their behavior to you a lot. There's a lot of comparison cards, like one coming out after the other contradicting. And I feel like you're the Queen of Swords, Queen of Pentacles mix, and they are the Fool reverse, King of Cups mix. And then we have the Judgment card, just summing it all up as like the thesis statement or something. But the King of Cups is more emotional. The King of Cups is in his feelings. He's very in touch with his emotions. He's very in touch with his feelings. He can also be a kind of gentler energy compared to the other King cards. Of course, all the Kings are going to have a lot of strength and be strong and powerful. It's not a bad thing to be emotional, but of course, Cups energy is just a little bit softer and gentler and kind of more emotionally invested than the other cards. So, I feel like there's this feeling with you of you being closed off. And again, I'm not saying this is the truth, but this is maybe how this person reads it, or the narrative they tell themselves. They might have felt like, no, I was genuine, I'm real, I was really in it, I really meant it, and all pile 2 cared about was money, or all pile 2 cared about was like status, and pile 2's a jerk, and pile 2, they were faking it the whole time, and of course, I don't think that's really fair, because I think humans are a lot more complex than that. The number of people who are straight up willing to be in a completely fake relationship and just lie 24/7 is probably not that low, but probably pretty low, probably the same number as like our sociopaths, so probably like 2% or something, which isn't like tiny, but I don't think you guys are doing that. But this person might have told themselves, yeah, pile 2 has no emotions, pile 2 just played me like a fiddle, and all this kind of victim narrative that they're in. And the Judgment card also can talk about rejuvenation, rising from the dead, coming back from the dead. So I feel like this person, in a way, like they honestly may have hoped that you wouldn't, I don't want this to sound bad, but that you wouldn't do too well and eventually you would come back to them. Kind of like maybe that you would need them one day and you would like come running back. But instead, I feel like you guys have continued to be strong and gone from strength to strength. You've done really well, and there may not have been that kind of karma thing. Not that I don't think you guys deserved karma, but maybe in their mind they were like, pile 2 deserves some karma, pile 2 deserves to suffer a little bit for this, and I want pile 2 to come back to me and be all like sad. And instead you're just thriving and you're doing so good and you guys are like living your best life, and that might be something that really irritates them. Let's get into some song cards for pile number 2. I'm not going to even look as I'm pulling. Making out, okay, no doubt. Real Love, Carly Rae Jepsen. I Thought I Saw Your Face Today, She and Him. And let's get a couple more. Yummy, Justin Bieber. They are saying something about a lot of people finding you attractive. So I don't know what this is, but they're saying that you're either like quite popular with people, or they might even be saying you're a bit of a player, or you kind of play people, or Yeah, I think that's something that really bothers them. I think it bothers them that they see a lot of people are attracted to you. And I think in their dream world, they don't really want that kind of competition. And I think it bothers them the idea that you were never really theirs. And I just heard, and as I'm saying that, I'm like, wait, isn't that one of the lyrics from August? Where she says, "'Cause you were never mine, never mine." And yeah, I feel like they felt like you never really were theirs in the way that they wanted you to be. They wanted you to really be theirs. And I'm hearing they would have been so proud to walk around with you in public. And definitely the vibe of August can fit this energy as well, because that talks about someone who's in love with someone who is in love with someone else. So they may have felt like you were in love with someone else, or that you had lots of other people who were interested in you. And you know, the whole saga of August, and then it ties into like Betty, I think is the other song, and Cardigan. But I love August, it's my favorite in that. But so I know that song better. But the whole point of August is it's from the perspective of the member of the love triangle that wasn't actually the one that the guy was in love with. So basically there's like this love triangle, and there's this girl who's in love with a guy and he loves her back, so they're in love with each other. And then there's this girl who has a crush on the guy, and she comes in and starts a relationship with him, and then of course that drives away the girl who is actually in love with the guy and he loves her, Betty. And then so it throws a cog in the wheel of their relationship, and they basically, the August girl, they spend a summer together, but the whole time she knows he's thinking of this other girl. So not to like, I didn't realize as I launched into that story, I'm like, wait, this is way too complicated to like sum up, because it's like taking 5 minutes to tell the story. But either way, I just feel like it's almost like maybe this person feels like, you know what, I don't even think they ever really loved me. I think the whole time they were thinking of someone else. Or I think that, you know, they didn't mean any of it, and that they were thinking of multiple other people. Or maybe that they don't even love anyone, and that they're just like independent, doing their own thing. But it's almost like feeling like sometimes, you know, in the moment you're hopeful. Like in that August song, the lyric is, "Back when I was living for the hope of it all." And so yeah, I wish I could quote that exact full, but anyway, the lyrics are so good to that song. But I feel like this person was hoping and kept hoping that you were gonna maybe feel different, or that they were going to get more emotion from you, that things were gonna turn out right. And I feel like in a way they look back on your relationship together and they're kind of like, I was so naive, or, you know, I was so like hopeful, and I kept hoping things were going to turn out different, and I kept hoping that they were going to wake up one day and be exactly what I needed. And again, I'm not saying, I don't believe this narrative that you guys were like playing them like a fiddle and you were being all Machiavellian, but I think that like maybe that makes this person feel a little bit easier, like they don't have to take responsibility for their failures in the non-communication, because they're clearly, it seems to me, putting all the blame on you and acting like you messed it up. So maybe that just helps them like feel better about this, is to act like, to downplay your emotions, to act like you were like this kind of Disney villain who like was just up to no good. But either way, I just don't think that they're being super mature about it. And I feel like, you know, they're saying stuff, and they might have even said stuff to friends about like, oh, you know, pile 2 is just dating around. Or they might have, I've heard this phrase go around online, and I hate it. I think it's so like toxic, but it's like misogynistic. But the phrase is like, she's not yours, it's just your turn, you know? So I think sometimes, you know, how men and some women will try to talk to other men or other women, is to like tell them not to get their heart broken, or not to like get too emotionally invested, because, you know, she's just playing you and she doesn't really mean it, and stuff like that. And sometimes it makes you feel better, right? Because it's like, heartbreak sucks, and it sucks to put your heart on the line and then let it get smashed. So instead it's like, oh, well, I'm just gonna hedge my bets, and I'm just gonna pretend like I don't care that much. And I feel like in a way this person has told themselves things about like, oh, she never really liked me that much, she was just playing me in order to get through the night night in order to not have to really confront the depth of their emotions, and that you guys really did have a deep connection. So they might be in that anger stage as well, and this might not be how they're permanently feeling towards you. I think sometimes with breakups, just like with any kind of loss in life, you go through stages of grief. You go through like the denial stage, and then the anger stage, and then the mourning stage, and then the bargaining, and then the loss. And it's just very like textbook working your way through all those feelings. And it feels like right now this person is in a negative mindset, and they're definitely thinking about it from a perspective of like, I've been done really wrong and pile one treated me so bad. But again, I don't necessarily think that's what they're going to be thinking forever. If this was a recent or fresh breakup, they might just be in that raw stage of pain. And if this breakup has happened for a while, they might be going through a current era of denial. It's not necessarily how they're always going to be feeling, but you know, whenever you do an energy check-in, you're kind of checking as far as the energy looks like right now. Doesn't mean it can't be fixed or changed. Just like, you know, you pop the hood of a car and check to see the oil is fresh, and if it's not, you just got to swap it out. So it's not gonna be how they're feeling forever, but for right now, it does feel like there's a little bit of anger coming through, and a little bit of resentment, and blaming you for things, and putting it all on you, and acting like you caused this. But I do feel like they think about you a lot. I feel like it bothers them that they think about you so much. I just heard another Taylor Swift lyric, which is, when I'm screaming at the sky, and what is it? She's like, and I still talk to you when I'm screaming at the sky, and something about when you're trying to sleep, you hear my broken lullaby. So I feel like this person, even though they would like to push you away, even though they want to act like they don't actually care, and like they don't have emotions for you, and like, you know what, I know she's toxic and I don't even care about her anymore, they still have a lot of that deep emotion, and they can't help but have their mind come back to you. And to be honest, when I see an energy like this, I just think it's a matter of time, because sooner or later they're going to burn out and get exhausted with this kind of oppositional, angry attitude that they have towards it, being overly emotional, and then they're going to have to deal with the raw pain, because that's what's usually underneath anger is the pain, the sadness, the feeling of loss, the knowledge that sometimes things just don't work out in life, sometimes things fall apart, as the famous poem goes, and there's nothing to do about it. There's no positive spin to put on it. Sometimes just things just fall apart, and that's life, and that's, you know, what happens. And so I love that whole poem, because it's like, paraphrasing it, it's like bridges collapse and tragedy happens, civilizations fall apart, and sometimes it's like there's no happy ending to put on it, you know, not to get really depressing. But I love that, the realism, the plutonic energy of that poem, to be honest, like the raw truth of it, because I think, you know, that's the hardest truth to confront sometimes, is like not understanding why tragedy or something like that has to happen. And again, not to go totally off topic, but I think this person is just, they feel more comfortable getting angry, that maybe it makes them feel like they have some power over the situation if they're mad at you, and if they blame you, and if they act like, you know, this was just completely your fault and they had nothing to do with it, then they don't have to confront their own dysfunctions or their own mistakes. But you know, they do have feelings for you, they do care about you, and I think it's just a matter of trying to lick their wounds a little bit and make themselves feel a little bit better, and kind of take away any responsibility from themselves and just putting it all on you. So anyway, yeah, I think that is what I have for you guys, pile 2. I really hope that resonates. Let me know if it did in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. I love hearing your thoughts and your stories, especially when it comes to romantic readings. I'm always super curious about your little romantic dramas. So definitely let me know in the comments how this resonated for you. Also, make sure to give this reading a like, hit the thumbs up button, and make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on. Hit that little bell so you can find out as soon as I post next. And if you guys want to see more of my readings, head on over to my Patreon, where you will get access to all my additional readings, over 55 additional readings. I just posted one all about messages from your family and from your ancestors, so that's a really good deep one. But like I said, as soon as you sign up, you get access to everything. So readings about love, spirituality, money, career, relocation, friends, family members, past lives, future life, so many different topics to choose from. So if you guys want to sign up and join me, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments and the description, and I will see you over on Patreon. And if you guys want to get a private one-on-one session with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com, and you can sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me. You can have me pull tarot for you, read your astrology, channel mediumship, or intuitively. You can have me do a year ahead reading, a love reading, a career reading. There's lots of different options, and you get to really ask me whatever you want. You can just do an energy check-in like I was talking about earlier, like popping the hood of the car and seeing what's going on. So if you guys want to get one of those, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and the link for that is in my description. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am sending you so much love and light, and I will see you guys very soon again in another reading. Take care, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Hey, pile 3, welcome to your reading. So if you guys picked these ice cream scoops, this is going to be your reading. So all of these actually come out, so you can adjust and rearrange it if you want to. And there's also a little label on the side. So much detail for these erasers. I love them. Anyways, guys, let's get into your card. So the first thing I'm picking up on is a very wistful energy. I feel like this person replays a lot of the memories of you and looks back at them really fondly. I'm almost feeling like a chuckling or just like a fond energy, kind of like how you would think back to, like, remember how my mom used to always make us those chocolate chip pancakes on Sunday when we would go to the lake and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's like one of those really fond memories that someone thinks back on whenever they want to feel better. You know what I mean? Like something they really hold close to their heart and just almost feels like a warm hug. I feel like when they think of you, like it's something that when things are going rough in their life, they may think about you and look back at the time you guys spent together. And it feels like those memories and thoughts of you just means a great deal to them. So I feel like, you know, I saw someone saying, it was something on TikTok about like how we don't, you know, we have memories of other people in our life, but we don't realize that those same people have memories of us. So just like how we think back to like a friend and we think about like how they would snort when they laugh, and we like think that's so cute and we kind of laugh about it in our head, or we think back to a relationship and like the way someone looked while they were driving with their hand on the steering wheel and just like their profile, and we have those memories in our head. We don't even realize that, like, of course, I mean, it's obvious when you think about it, when you say it, you're like, duh, but we don't really fully take on the implication of someone reminiscing about us and having all those memories about us and like our funny gestures and the way we laugh and the sound we make when we're like excited. And I just feel like this person is replaying a lot of those when it comes to you. They think about you, I think, a lot, like in a way that, again, I feel like it feels like a warm hug to them. Let's get into some cards though. That was just what I was channeling right off the bat. What would this person say to pile 3? What would this person say to pile 3? So the 4 of Swords reversed. So you guys might have connections while this person dreams. If you have really vivid dreams or they come into your dreams, you guys might be connecting on the astral plane while you guys are both dreaming and resting. Yeah, and I feel like in a way, like, with this person, I feel like there was this feeling when they first met you, like a deep connection, a feeling of a past life or deep knowledge of like, do I know this person? Like, what's going on? Feels like when they first laid eyes on you, they first of all thought, I think you were so pretty and so attractive. And I think that was something that really stuck out to them, was just like, dang, like pile 3, like they are so pretty. But I think also they felt something that went beyond that, beyond the physical, to like more of a spiritual dimension. I think they probably wouldn't have told you that because it'd be a little weird to say that to someone within 5 minutes of meeting them. But I feel like their feelings for you, it was like almost like right away they were fully interested. Right away they had interest. Right away they felt drawn to you, and they didn't need to be like, oh, let me get to know pile 3. Oh yeah, they're kind of cool. It was like boom, right away, immediate, just wanting to know you more, wanting to talk to you, feeling like they already did know you in a way. and kind of like, I just know we're gonna be friends forever, is kind of how I think they felt about you at the time. Whether you may not be talking now, but I feel like they thought you guys would always be close. And it's almost feeling like when you guys were together or were hanging out, it was like almost like two little kids, or just a really peaceful, positive, happy vibe that this person had when they were talking to you. Let's get into some more cards. So we got the 7 of Wands. That's interesting. And the Chariot. So this person might worry about like competition from others when it comes to you. They might think that you have a lot of people wanting to date you, wanting to be with you, wanting to be around you. And it might be something that really bothers them, is this idea that like you have so many different opportunities to date, around, to be with other people, and kind of like, why would pile 3 be even thinking of me? They might think you have a very busy lifestyle as well, or even that you're in a stage in your life where you're like on to the next with this Chariot card, where like you're going new places and doing things, and like you're busy and you're booked and you have a lot on your plate and you're excited about life. And they might kind of be like, yeah, they don't have any room for me in that. Like there's, you know, they have already so many exciting things going on that they would be focused on, and I bet they don't even think about me. I bet they don't even care about me. It's almost like this sense that they feel like you've moved on, or this sense that they don't really have a place in your life, that you wouldn't really have room to let them in, that you just, you know, I feel like they feel that you have such a magical energy, that you are so charismatic, and that you just bring people to you. So many people wish that they could be an active part of your life. So many people, I feel like, are charmed by you and find you to be so charismatic and magical. At least that's how they view you. And so in their mind, they're like, yeah, they got no place for me. Like, they've got no reason to bring me in. And if they did bring me in, you know, they probably wouldn't have much time to spend with me. They'd be constantly doing other things, and there's just no way that like I would have a reason to come back and add value to their life. And I almost feel like with this person, they're thinking that you're better than them, or they might have a lack of self-worth when it comes to you. They might have a feeling of, you know, just you being more exciting than them, or you having more people who like you, people who are interested in you, people who want to be friends with you. Kind of like I said, how can I actually add value? How can I bring things to pile 3 when they have so much and they have so many people into them and they're doing so many exciting things? So I don't know if some of you guys have been on a new transitional part of your life, like maybe you have been moving, or you started a new job, or started at a new school or something, but I just feel like they kind of seem to think from the outside looking in that you're constantly with this new activity, that you have friends, that you're booked and busy, and they're not sure how they could add to that in any way. Let's get into some more cards. What would pile 3's person say to them? What would pile 3's person say to them? Wow. So we got the High Priestess, and then it's coming out underneath the 4 of Swords reversed. Both are reversed. So again, a definite spiritual connection that you guys have, but they may feel that this connection is being blocked either from their side, where they might not be as open to it, or they might be thinking that you've blocked it, or you haven't been as open. If you guys have been very busy, then often that can sometimes block a spiritual connection, because when we just like we kind of hear God, hear spirituality, are able to access the astral realm in silence. And of course, if you're a really seasoned meditator person, you can access it at any time, any place. Like monks and stuff, you know, they don't have to be like deep in quiet to do it. You can hear it like in the middle of a crowded street. But most people, they kind of need to be in a place of calm and relaxation to be able to hear that voice from spirit. So if you guys have just been really booked and busy and overwhelmed with life lately and doing a million things, then they might not have felt your presence as much on the astral plane. They may not have felt like they've been able to access you as much. And that might be why there's this feeling almost like of you moving on, or of you no longer having a place for them in your life. It may have been because some of you guys have just haven't been hanging out on the astral plane as much. Maybe you've been living more in the real world, which is totally fine. Or it could be that they are no longer wanting to access with you on the astral plane. They may be trying to move on, or thinking, you know what, look at pile 3, they're moving on, they're thriving, like, look, why am I being a loser and still thinking about them? They may be even blocking it, or they may have been at the time when they first met you, like, not interested in a soulmate connection. Maybe they felt like it was too much for some reason. But honestly, the vibe I get is a lot of them were open to this, or they were intrigued by it. They thought of it as a positive. They did like your energy. They liked being around your energy. And for them, it almost felt like coming home, or having a glass of really cool water on a hot summer day. Like, just this sense of relief when they were around you, this sense that they could kind of open up to you and tell you whatever. And I feel like, again, they still look back on you and your time together so fondly. They still think about you, and it's like only good memories. It's like, just, I think in a weird way, they wish they had like a time machine and they wish they could go back. That's the only negative feeling, is kind of like, I can't believe that time isn't there anymore. And I do feel that to a certain extent as well, this person might be sad about certain things that have happened in your relationship, even changes both of you guys have gone through since. Like, maybe at the time you guys were at a different stage in your life and it just seemed like a good time in general. It just seemed like, kind of like when you look back at memories from summer, or from a really like summer camp, or college, when you're like, oh, that was just such a great time in my life and everything was fun. And then, you know, being an adult can be kind of boring with like all the responsibilities. Or maybe, you know, being when you're in the middle of winter. I mean, winter is my favorite season, but you know, even I, like, in the middle of winter when it's freezing cold, I'm like, oh gosh, summer, it'd be nice to be laying in the grass right now, you know? So I feel like whatever was going on between you guys at this time, they look at it as a real highlight for them, a very positive moment in their life, and they wish they could go back to that. They wish they could. They might look at you through kind of rose-colored glasses and just see everything you do as like very perfect and very beautiful, and almost like you can do no wrong. And I do feel like maybe that's also this 10 of Wands energy, again, them being intimidated, because when we come to the higher wand cards, it does talk about a lot of conflict, a lot of fighting, hard work, pushing yourself. You know, it's not the usual transition with like the cups cards, where kind of as it goes up into the higher level cups, we're talking about more positivity and everything getting so much better. And to a certain extent, the pentacles as well. The swords and the wands are a little bit different, and they kind of count down differently. Kind of the upper level ones can be harder than the lower ones. So when we talk about the 7 of Wands coming out with the 10 of Wands, I feel like they are thinking that maybe dating you would be a lot of responsibility, or something that they just can't step up to the plate for. They might assume that you're the kind of person where they would really need to do a lot to date someone like you, that they would have to like pay all your bills, or that they would have to just really bring their A game. And they might be like, you know what, I'm just not ready for that. Like, I'm not mature enough for that, or I can't do it for whatever reason, or I just know if I date pile 3 that I'm always going to have competition from so many other people who are interested in them. I know that if I date pile 3 that all eyes are going to be on us. And they might also just be thinking about people in particular that they assume that you guys are dating or involved with, and that might be something that really bothers them. This idea of competition, this idea of like, how am I supposed to, you know, compete with this? How am I supposed to like be on pile 3's level when they're so freaking amazing and they have so many people interested in them? Like, how could I possibly stand out from the crowd? Let's get into some song cards, my favorite cards. And I do apologize if you guys can hear some like music in the background. There's like a little party thing happening nearby. So anyway, so we got super bass, Nicki Minaj. Just love that I wrote this on 2 separate cards, and I think I was trying to throw that away because I had written Nicki Ming, but then I put it in my deck and now it's the one I pull every time. So anyway, Super Bass by Nicki Minaj, 5 Years Time, Noah and the Whale. And I'm telling you, that heavy energy of memory is really strong around this person, and also this kind of happy, positive vibe that definitely comes out with this song of like looking back on positive times and laughing and just like, I think the lyrics to that song is like, well, in 5 years time we might be walking around a zoo with the sun shining down over me and you, and there'd be love in the bodies of the elephants too. You put your hand into my eyes and we'll come through, or something like that. I think I just butchered that last line, I'm pretty sure, unless they were really hallucinating when they wrote that. You put your hand into my eyes. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but my point is, it's kind of like that memory, that feeling of like stuff you do when you're, you know, a teenager, and you're kind of laughing about like going to the zoo together. At least, I mean, I used to go to the zoo with my friends because I grew up in DC. There's a really good zoo there, and like laugh and hang out and just like while away the day. So it feels to me like one of those memories of like being in the summer and just walking around the city while you're hot, or wherever you live, going like tubing or something. Like, that's what it feels like, just so positive. Like, I feel like they look back at you through this haze of love and kind of gratefulness for the times you guys had together. And I feel like they would like to imagine you guys getting back together, but also it seems to them like a little bit of a pipe dream. Like, how could that possibly happen? Especially when pile 3 is in a hustler energy and pile 3 is moving forward. And they might have some shame as well if their life has been kind of stagnant. They might be like, I don't know how I could add to this. Or they might also be in a hustler energy focused on moving forward, and they might be like, I have so many fond memories of my past with this person, but like, I don't have the time for this right now. I'm so busy. I'm doing so many things. I'm overwhelmed with my life. I'm, you know, having a million things on my plate. And how do I have time to like call up an old flame and ask them if they want to hang out? They'll probably think I'm crazy. They'll probably be like, oh my God, that was forever ago. Yeah. So there's a lot of wistfulness and kind of sadness that it might not be possible to bring this into reality. Wait for me. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you guys. Because you know what came to my mind is, if this person is really busy with their life, sometimes you hear stories about someone who's like really busy, builds a career, builds a business or something, and then they come back and like contact their high school sweetheart and say like, by the way, I always wanted to be with you, and like, let's make this happen now. I built my business. I divorced my first wife, but you're the one I always loved. And I'm not saying that's what's going on here, or that you guys should stay waiting for them. I would never tell someone to keep waiting, because I think however it's supposed to happen will happen. And the best thing you can do is live your life for you, building a life that makes you joyful and happy. And that's not hoping for a memory to come back or hoping for some past thing to reunite. That's focusing on creating a life now that makes you happy right now in reality. But I'm saying maybe that's something that runs through their mind, is like, you know, maybe one day we can come back together. The one thing I will say that I don't really like is it doesn't feel like this person's taking a ton of initiative towards your relationship. Feels like they almost are in that energy that I always think is funny when I do a private reading and someone's like, well, I just hope I somehow get money. And it's like, well, there's ways to get money, you know, maybe you can like, you know, start a business or something. But it's almost like sometimes people will be in an energy of just waiting. Like, let me just hope I win the lottery. Are you buying lottery tickets? No. Like, okay, then how is this gonna happen? You know what I mean? And I kind of feel like that with this person, is where it's like, sir, like, if you want to get back together with pile 3, why don't you pick up that phone, and why don't you send that DM, and why don't you message them and try to like make this happen, instead of just thinking about like, oh, how beautiful it was. But yeah, that's just my take as the tarot reader. That's my personal opinion. Let's get some more cards. So we got Turn to White, she and him. They may also really reminisce about your skin and think you have really beautiful skin. Especially, I don't know if some of you guys look better at night, and like the way, like, you know how sometimes people look better at night, or they look better during the day. I feel like you guys are kind of a night person, and you might look better at night. And they might think of you remember you when you were at night, like the street light shining on your skin from, you know, at 11 p.m. or something. I don't know, but they might have a memory of something like that. So hot, you're hurting my feelings, Caroline Polachek. One thing I feel like they really like about you is how fun you are. And what is the final card? Jealous, Chromio. Oh my God, that's so perfect for you guys. I'm telling you, this person is definitely a little bit jealous about the idea of you with someone else. And I feel like they do compare that. Like, even if they are doing well and they are successful in life, I feel like in a way they see you as successful in other ways that aren't just like business or money. They see you as someone who's like life of the party, or makes a lot of people feel comfortable, or just always knows what to say socially, or just always gets people to loosen up. They see this energy with you that's just infectious and super positive and super fun to be around. And I don't feel like they feel they have that same energy where they could light up a party and get everyone to get along and, you know, talk to the person who might be feeling shy and nervous and get them to open up. They just see you as like a magical pixie dust type of person, I think. They see you as someone that I feel like they thought was so precious and kind of dreamy and kind of elusive in a way. Like they never felt like they fully understood you, or they could fully get everything you were doing, understand your emotions. I feel like they see you as someone who is quite emotional, and I feel like they love being around that. They love kind of feeling your infectious energy, like when you get excited about something. I'm hearing that Taylor Swift line where she says, and you tilt your head back laughing like a little kid. And I feel like that's maybe something you guys do, where there's this like youthful, happy, positive quality about you. And they just felt so comfortable in your presence. They just felt like being with you was like being on a bright, sunny day, you know, in the middle of spring or something. There's a very strong like summer, spring vibe around this pile. For some reason, I keep seeing summer imagery. And I feel like they felt almost a sense of freedom with you, like they could open up and tell you anything and you wouldn't judge them, that you were so understanding, and you guys had this deep closeness, this deep sense of camaraderie and friendship that I don't think they've experienced with other people. So I definitely think that they, like I said, their memories of you are very positive, very fond. But I wish they would take a little bit more of a strong attitude towards it. I feel like they're almost in an energy of like, let me wait and see. Let me wait and see what's gonna happen. Let me see if I should approach pile 2. Let me see what happens in a couple years. It's almost bringing to my mind, you know, those like movies or those rom-coms like My Best Friend's Wedding, where they make a deal to get married if they're both single at 30, that they will get married. But I feel like it's like they're not communicating that to you so much. They just think about it all the time. So yeah, I think they need to work on being a little bit more aggressive, I guess, or being a little bit more forthright about things, and like just coming forward and stepping up and just really coming at it strongly, instead of like just, oh, we had such a beautiful time together. In fact, I could see some of you guys in this pile, if you're getting this, definitely still being with this person or still being in a relationship with them, and that y'all didn't break up, because it just seems so positive to me, to be honest. It just seems so happy, and like this person seems very content with you. They don't seem angry. They seem like they just look back at you with such positivity and love and fondness. So honestly, it's really beautiful, considering a lot of these people are very angry sometimes during readings. I like that this person is coming at it with a happy and high vibe and positive heart. So anyways, I think that is what I have for you guys, pile 3. I really hope it resonated with you. Let me know if it did in the comments. I always love hearing from you, hearing your thoughts, your stories, your reflections, especially when it comes to love readings, because I love all the drama and all the juicy details. So definitely let me know what's going on with you in this pile. Also, make sure to hit the like button, give this reading a thumbs up if it did resonate with you, and make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on, hit the little bell so you can find out as soon as I post next. And if you guys want to see more of my content, head on over to my Patreon, where I post all my additional readings. I just posted one all about what your family and ancestors think of you, what they want you to know, and what messages they have for you. So that is a really, really good one, and you guys can watch it, like I said, at the link underneath the timestamps in the comment. Yeah, it's underneath the timestamps in the comments. I was just like, wait, is that where I put it? Anyway, for my Patreon. And when you sign up, you get access to over 55 additional readings about love, spirituality, relocation, future life, past lives, career. So many topics to choose from, to be honest. I can't even go over it. There's 18+ readings, lots of stuff to choose from. So if you want to see that, head to the link underneath the timestamps in the comments for my Patreon. And if you guys want to see get a private reading with me, you can also get that at my website, briarrosetarot.com. You can sign up for a half hour or a full hour-long session with me, have me pull tarot, read your astrology, channel mediumship, or intuitively. You can have me do a career reading, a love reading, a year ahead reading. You can do an energy check-in, which it's kind of just like popping the hood of the car and checking out and seeing what's going on, seeing where your energy is headed next. So if you'd like to get one of those, head to my website, briarrosetarot.com, and I would absolutely love to do a reading for you. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I am sending you so much love and light, and I'll be back very soon again for another reading. So take care, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.